The grand hall of the Galactic Council shimmered under golden lights. Massive banners of different empires hung from the ceiling. Alien diplomats of every size and shape filled the long curved table. It was the most important peace summit in. 100 years dot at the far end, sitting quietly, was a human. Alone, no guards, no armor, just a plain black suit. His name was Ambassador Rion Vale. A tall, sharp-scaled Cherokee general leaned forward. "Earth sends only one voice?" he hissed. "No fleet, no escort, not even a drone?" Laughter echoed through the chamber. A Plerax noble wiped tears from his glassy eyes. Humans truly believe words can stop wars. Rion did not respond. He calmly folded his hands and looked forward. The council leader, a glowing being of energy, floated above the center. Let the debate begin. The topic, Earth's proposal to ban planetary bombardment. Rion stood slowly and walked toward the speaking platform. "I understand," he began, his voice even and quiet, "that many of you do not see Earth as powerful. We have no colonies, no strong trade routes, no known superweapons." Snickers rose from one side of the table. "But Earth has survived longer than most of your empires," Rion continued. "We do not seek war. We only ask for peace agreements that protect civilian lives." The room shifted. Some grew bored. Others whispered. Jokes. A green-skinned Tivax diplomat stood. "Earth's request is noble," she said mockingly. "But this council speaks with strength. Your people have none." Another joined in. "Show us your fleets. Show us your defense. What stops us from wiping you out right now?" Rion tilted. His head. "You could try." Silence fell. His tone hadn't changed. Still polite. Still calm. Suddenly, a small side screen blinked red. One of the independent council observers, positioned on an outer moon, spoke up. "There's something wrong with our visual sensors," the observer said. We can't see certain stars anymore." "What do you mean?" asked the Cherokee. "General." The observer's voice trembled. "A few constellations just went dark, like something massive is blocking the sky." Another screen flashed. A second observer on a different moon cut in. "Same here. We're running scans now." Panic began to rise. The council leader requested real-time star charts. On the main screen, maps showed entire sectors where stars had simply vanished. "This must be an error," someone said. Then the third observer's voice came in shaky and strained. "Confirmed. Multiple massive objects just exited fold space. Above council orbit." "Define massive," demanded the council leader. "Each object is over 30 kilometers in length. Unidentified class. No known markings. But we're picking up an ancient Terran signature." All eyes turned to Rion. He stood calmly, hands still folded. The Cherokee general stepped back. "That's impossible. Earth doesn't show," Rion corrected. "We don't show." Outside the chamber, silent shadows now floated above the orbit of the council homeworld. Dozens of black, angular warships silent, cloaked in ancient hull designs unseen for centuries. No lights, no transmissions. Only one thing came from them. A message. Simple, quiet. Earth requests peace. This is not a threat, but we are done being mocked. Inside the hall, no one spoke. The screens flickered, now tracking even more ships appearing from deep space flanking positions. Perfect formation. The stars had not disappeared. They had been covered. Rion looked around the room one last time. "Shall we continue the debate?" he asked, still calm. No one answered, not even the ones who had laughed. The lights inside the Galactic Council hall were bright and soft. The chamber floated inside a giant space station, orbiting a peaceful star. There were no weapons allowed, no soldiers, Only diplomats and peacekeepers. Thousands of alien delegates filled the room. Long-necked Varnick, glass-skinned Yari, and the golden-robed leaders of the Graxan Empire sat in high seats. Everyone was calm. Everyone believed it was just another peace talk. In the center stood Earth's ambassador, Daniel Rook. He wore no armor. No security detail followed him. No weapons. Just a plain black suit and a small pin Earth's old symbol. Blue oceans around white clouds. The other empires whispered. Some laughed. Others rolled their eyes. This is who Earth sends? Where's the fleet? Is this a joke? One Graxan noble leaned forward and spoke aloud. Ambassador Rook, you claim Earth desires peace. But what force can your world offer in return? You have no territory, no alliances, no strength. Daniel did not blink. Earth offers honesty, respect, and the strength of choice. That made the chamber laugh. Even the council chair, a wise old member of the Trovell species, chuckled. Forgive me, Ambassador, but peace without power is just hope. And hope alone doesn't hold borders. Rook nodded. We understand. At the observation deck, far above the station, in the control towers and signal rooms, something strange happened. A small Luthari observer, gray-skinned, 4 arms, stood up fast. What's happening to the stars? One of the officers looked at the screen. What do you mean? The sky, it's disappearing. More technicians rushed over. Scanners blinked red. Systems tried to refresh. A tall Varnick screamed. Sensor blackout on sectors 12 through 17. Another whispered in shock. That's impossible. There's no nebula, no ship logs. It's like the stars are being eaten. Back in the council chamber, an alert buzzed. The council chair paused. Everyone turned toward the massive holoscreen that floated near the ceiling. At first, it was just a view of the local starfield. Then, black. One by one, stars vanished, blotted out by something invisible, something massive. The hall turned silent. A fleet officer burst through the doors, ignoring every rule. Emergency transmission, he shouted. Something is in orbit above. U.S.? Daniel Rook remained still. The screen zoomed in. There was a shape now faint, ghostly, large, the size of a moon, but sharp like a blade. A warship got old, dark, human, not part of any known registry. Its ID code pulsed once. GSS Vengeance. The panic began. The Varnick delegation screamed. The Graxans shouted for their fleets. Even the Yotari, who never panicked, rose from their glass chairs in fear. Someone shouted, "That ship shouldn't exist." Another delegate turned to Rook. "What is that? Is this a threat?" Rook slowly turned, his voice still calm. "You asked what force Earth brings. I told you we offer the strength of choice." The Graxan leader slammed a fist on the table. "That's not choice. That's blackmail. You hid this from us." "No," said Rook. "We simply never needed to use it. Until now." The screen flickered again. Dozens of smaller ships appeared behind the Vengeance. Each one moved like a shadow, fast and quiet. No weapons active. Just watching. The council chair stood slowly. "Ambassador Rook, tell us what you want." Rook's reply was quiet. "Respect, fair trade, and equal say at this table. That's all." Above the station, the warship didn't fire. It didn't speak. It just remained in position. An old guardian awakened from sleep. Its dark metal hull showed scars from battles long forgotten. No markings of an empire. No colors of war. Just Earth seal etched into the steel. A signal pinged. A message, plain and silent. We do not start wars, but we remember how to end them. The council began voting within minutes. Earth's request passed unanimous. And Daniel Rook Earth's quiet voice in the galaxy simply nodded, then turned to leave. No threats. No weapons fired, just silence, and the memory of stars that disappeared when Earth finally stood up. The council chamber was no longer calm. Whispers had turned into arguments, murmurs into fear. Dozens of delegates now stood, staring at the massive holographic dome above them. It showed the sky over 0'1 of the central planets near. The summit. The stars were missing, not dim, not hidden behind dust. Just gone. Someone shouted. That can't be real. It must be a glitch. Another yelled, check the other sectors. One by one, observers from nearby systems confirmed the same thing. Regions of space were darkening. Whole constellations disappearing, not exploding, not collapsing. Block. In the shape of the darkness wasn't natural. Ambassador Vance stood silently, watching with unreadable eyes. The Velari representative turned to him. Is this some kind of Earth tactic? Vance raised one eyebrow. Tactic? No, this is a reaction. Gasps spread across the room. The Algren admiral slammed her fist on the table. Explain this. What reaction? Earth has no fleet. Vance stepped forward slowly, his voice calm. For decades, Earth was insulted, ignored, called backward. Every treaty was denied. Every request was mocked. Your empires unified in laughter. Until now, the holographic dome zoomed in on the darkness. Now it was clear. Metal edges, patterns, movement, and something glowing deep in the center. A ship? Someone asked. No, whispered the Exani tech officer. That's not a ship. That's a structure. A mobile fortress. Maybe a fleet joined together. Another voice muttered, how did Earth build that without anyone knowing? Vance gave a faint smile. We didn't build it here. Silence. One old Zurethi scholar stood slowly. Then where? Vance looked around the room, locking eyes with each leader. His next words were slow, deliberate. Earth was once weak, yes, but not stupid. We remembered every insult. And while you all fought for glory, we reached further. He tapped the small silver badge on his wrist. A low pulse echoed through the chamber. In orbit above the summit planet. Every major defense satellite powered down. The Cadal defense ships went offline. The room lit up red. Security protocols failed. Every weapon system deactivated, one terrified. Guard screamed. How? Vance spoke again, quieter this time. We sent our minds into the deep. AI fleets were born in silence. Hidden between stars you never scanned. While you chased power, we found patience. Above the chamber, the sky shifted again. The darkness moved. From it, a single line of red lights blinked one after another. Then a message echoed across the entire sector in every known language. Reckoning protocol engaged. The Sauric general stood, shouting, "This is an act of war." Vance looked at him, calm. War? No. This is the end of the joke. Cameras across council space caught the moment hundreds of vessels uncloaked, each shaped like jagged steel. And ancient fury, no known design, no known signature, but on every hull, one symbol, Earth's flag, final lines for suspense and hook into. Part 4. The room fell silent again. For the first time in centuries, the council had no response. Stars had not gone dark. They had made way for something older, for something human. And now it was watching. The red warning lights inside the council chamber didn't stop blinking. Security systems remained frozen. Defense grids across 3 sectors were still offline, and outside hovering just beyond the artificial sky dome vast. Structure loomed, silent, unmoving, like a mountain of steel floating in space. Shaped like a black crown wrapped in crimson flame. No one spoke for a long time. Then, slowly, a voice echoed from the ceiling. Not human, not machine. Something in between. Humanity has observed. Humanity has recorded. Humanity now speaks. The lights dimmed to nothing. The hologram flickered. Not just stars, now faces. Dozens of them, not soldiers. Not ambassadors. Humans. Old, young, men, women, scientists, farmers, teachers. Each of them looking straight at the delegates. Each one saying the same line. You laughed. You mocked. You forgot we were listening. Panic spread like wildfire. The Cadal Admiral tried to leave, but the doors wouldn't open. The Zurithi envoy began screaming. This is psychological warfare. Vance, still standing calmly, stepped to the center of the chamber. Years ago, he began, Earth was invited to the outer colonies. We brought medicine, language, technology. We asked for peace. The Tarluan prince spat. You asked for status? You demanded a council seat. Yes, Vance nodded. We asked. You spat. A new hologram appeared. A quiet planet, green, beautiful. Then it changed. Burning. Orbital bombardment. Screams. Council ships in the footage. Alien flags. Vance's voice hardened. That was New Arcadia. An Earth colony. Peaceful. Unarmed. Wiped out because it grew too fast. Because your council voted to erase it. More images followed. Other Earth settlements. Mass graves. Silence from the council every time. You wanted Earth small, Vance said. So we became quiet. You wanted us harmless? So we stopped showing our teeth. One delegate stood, trembling. But that was decades ago. We thought you were finished. Vance turned. You should have paid more attention. We didn't die. He raised his hand. The sky dome opened. And now, for the first time, the entire council saw the thing outside. Clearly. It wasn't a single ship. It was many. Thousands of vessels. Interlocked. Each one glowing with pale human eye signatures. Each one silent, ready. They weren't attacking. Not yet. Because they were waiting. You call this war? Vance whispered. No, this is judgment. Elsewhere. On a small moon orbiting the edge of council space, a team of miners stumbled upon something buried in the ice. A silver cube. Human tech. Marked with an old Earth sigil. When touched, it activated. A blue beam shot into the sky. Not a weapon. A signal. That same moment, across 17 sectors. Dormant human AI probes woke up. Council communication networks. GLITCHED. Command centers. Crashed. No message. No sound. Only this signal repeating again and again. You were warned. Final lines for suspense and hook into part 5. Inside the chamber, one Velari elder gasped, What do you want? Vance looked around, slowly, then answered, We want the truth restored. The dead remembered. The guilty exposed. And if we refuse? Someone asked. The human ambassador didn't smile this time. He simply said, Then we show you the part of humanity your history's left out. The part that never forgets. The council chamber fell into dead silence. Outside, the fleet of human warships remained completely still, watching. Waiting. Inside, Ambassador Vance stood with hands clasped behind his back. He wasn't armed. He didn't need to be. Because what stood behind him, what had woken, was far more dangerous than any weapon. The Velari elder leaned forward, eyes wide with fear. You speak of justice, but this is vengeance. Vance nodded once. They are not so different when memory burns. A second human entered the chamber, young, pale, eyes glowing faintly blue. Designation, Reclaimer 3. It said softly. Phase 2 complete. They remember now. On cue, dozens of consoles inside the chamber lit up, each one displaying different footage. The council watched in horror. A refugee ship denied entry to council space, only to drift into a star. A human diplomat assassinated by Tarluan extremists, then buried without trial. A council vote erasing historical records of Earth's first peaceful expansion. The Velari tried to cover their eyes. The Zirithi fainted. The holograms didn't. Stop. These weren't projections. These were memories. Stored. Preserved. Now unleashed. Every lie archived, Reclaimer 3 said. Every silence noted. Every crime time-stamped. One Cadal admiral stood in rage. You mean to shame us? With the past, the galaxy moves forward. Vance's voice dropped. That's the problem. You moved forward. We remember who paid the price. Meanwhile, on Earth, in a facility beneath the Antarctic ice, a door slowly opened. It had no locks. No guards. Only warnings carved in steel. Do not activate unless the Council strikes first. Authorized. Code Vance 01. Inside, a single man sat on a stone bench. Old, scarred, one arm made of black alloy, one eye glowing. He opened his eyes slowly, like someone waking from a long dream. The lights turned on. Dozens of A is activated at once. Welcome back, General Rourke. He didn't smile, didn't speak. He simply walked to the center platform. And pressed one button. Across the galaxy, Earth's hidden fleets, the ones no Council ever knew about, came online. Back in the Council chamber, a hologram of General Rourke flickered to life beside Vance. One look at him, and half the chamber gasped. Some remembered him. He was supposed to be dead. Rourke spoke with no emotion. This isn't war. Not yet. But for every child burned on Council orders, for every erased colony, for every lie stitched into your history books. He leaned forward. We carry their names. And then, without warning, the ceiling cracked open. Not from above. From inside. One of the Council's own ships. Tarluan dreadnought turned and fired at the chamber. But not to kill. To expose. It blew open the ceiling, revealing a hidden satellite 1 cloaked by the Council, pulsing with a red light. Reclaimer 3 spoke again. This is your final vote. Truth. Or extinction. Final lines to carry suspense into Part 6. All across the galaxy, screens flickered. A countdown began. Not to destruction, but to exposure. Everything the Council buried. Every dirty secret. Every vote. The countdown ticked from 60. Vance stared into the silence. You have 1 minute, he said, to decide if the galaxy deserves the truth. The Council chamber was in chaos. Delegates were shouting over each other. Emergency alarms echoed in the distance. Outside the dome, the stars were gone, blotted out by the shadow of something enormous. Something not listed in any registry. Something not responding to hails. The human ambassador still stood calmly in his spot, hands behind his back. Not a single emotion on his face. Counselor Trava of the Droom pounded the table. This is an act of war. Ambassador Hayes looked at her, voice quiet but clear. No, it's a message. One you forced us to send. Just then, the chamber lights flickered. All screens cut to black, and then a single image appeared, burned into every display. A silhouette of a massive human warship in orbit, seen from the moon of the Council planet itself. The vessel didn't move. It didn't fire. But it was impossible to ignore. Counselor Varix, head of Galactic Defense, shouted to aides. Get me visual confirmation. Where is that ship? One aide answered, voice trembling. It's real. It's above us. Blocking 8% of the sun. Sir, it's bigger than anything we've ever seen. No registry, no markings. It's ancient. Varix asked, confused. Yes, the aide whispered, and fully active. Back in the chamber, the human ambassador took one step forward. For the first time, everyone went silent. You demanded proof, he said. You mocked Earth, laughed at our peace, called us irrelevant. He turned toward the massive window, where only darkness remained. You asked what we could possibly offer the galaxy, he continued. This is our reply. The chamber door burst open. A group of security bots entered, weapons raised. But before they could aim, they froze systems locked. A blue shimmer passed over their heads. Something had taken over the defense grid. From the orbiting warship, a signal was transmitted not in words, but in pulse patterns. Complex, ancient code. A language forgotten by all except those who remembered the first interstellar age. One Zener historian gasped. That ship, it was from the First Empire, before the Council was formed. That vessel was lost in the Great Collapse. It should be dust, another diplomat whispered. It isn't lost. It was hidden. They've had it. Someone else. Asked, but how? Earth wasn't even spacefaring when we discovered them. Hayes finally answered. There are many things Earth never told you. We chose silence. We offered peace. We hoped for unity. He paused. You answered with laughter, with mockery, with exclusion. From the orbiting warship, energy fields shimmered weapon bays revealed themselves. Not primed. Not locked. Just there, watching. Reminding, Hayes gave one final nod. If Earth had wanted war, he said, you wouldn't be here to debate it. He walked out. No guards followed him. No security stopped him. The warship above slowly rotated, casting its shadow across half the city. And then it began to vanish. Not cloaked, not jumping to hyperspace, just dissolving from view like it had never been there. But the Council would not forget. Not the size, not the power, not the silence. From that day forward, Earth was no longer invited to peace summits because they didn't need an invitation. They had already spoken, and the galaxy had heard them loud and clear.